The story of downtown development in the 25 years since the Promenade opened is that of a dance between initiatives and infrastructure investments from the city and investment from the private sector. In the 90s, the city responded to the success of the Promenade with two major initiatives. One was an attempt to expand the retail bounty of the Promenade east and west by changing traffic patterns and improving the pedestrian experience. The other was to encourage the building of housing on a property zoned for commercial use, largely by allowing twice as much residential development than commercial development on a given lot, while at the same time requiring that ground floors be reserved for commercial uses. In the early 90s, the city received complaints from business owners on Santa Monica Boulevard and Broadway who were concerned about collateral impacts from the Promenade's success. Businesses on Santa Monica were concerned that people waiting for buses on the narrow sidewalks were blocking access to their businesses, and property and business owners on Broadway complained about the traffic patterns created by the two one-way streets the city then had in downtown, Broadway and 5th Street. The City Council responded by creating a design working group consisting of both council members and planning commissioners to oversee the work of consultants charged with coming up with a new design plan for downtown. To make a long story short, the resulting plan called for the return of Broadway and 5th to two-way traffic, the narrowing of both Broadway and Santa Monica to allow for wider sidewalks, and the return of some curbside parking to 4th Street and elsewhere in downtown. The then head of the Big Blue Bus, John Cato, had the inspiration that if one lane on Santa Monica and one lane on Broadway could be dedicated to bus-only use, the project would qualify for funding from federal transit funds. The project thus became known as the Transit Mall, although most of the plans were drawn up before anyone realized the transit possibilities. The picture here, you can tell by the sparse foliage there, is from just after the sidewalks were widened. Since the Transit Mall opened, Santa Monica Boulevard with its wider sidewalks has developed into its own access for walkers. One boon to the extension of promenade activity east along Santa Monica Boulevard was the city's opening in January 2006 of its new main library on the corner at 6th Street, as seen in this photo. There's a courtyard inside with a little coffee shop. It's worth mentioning the fate of the old Henshey's department store. The building was red tagged after the 1994 earthquake and later torn down. In its place, a smaller store was built, which is now an REI. Henshey's had a parking lot behind its building. This large property at the corner of 5th and Santa Monica became the focus of a contentious development battle in the late 90s when Target proposed to build one of its first urban stores there. A Target made sense since it would have been one department store replacing another, and since Santa Monica lacks discount shopping. However, in 2001, the City Council, by a 5-2 vote, killed the project. There was opposition from both anti-development Santa Monicans concerned about traffic and some businesses that were concerned about competition.